Good Monday morning. It is December 30th, 2024. And we're going to be a little bit nice today, a little bit cooler than yesterday, but a little bit breezy as well. But nice. I mean, this is a mild day. Enjoy it because we're about to hit a downward trend and it's going to get really cold. And then we'll have to watch whether or not we get some snowy conditions. I am showing the previous run of the GFS. This is the American model. It's coming in now with the latest run. And by the time I'm done, probably we'll be able to go and look and see a peak at least for a week from now to see if it's still holding a wintry mess coming our way. I do wonder how much rain. I mean, yesterday we were expecting a lot of rain, especially a few days before the event. I was touting maybe 1 to 3 inches or more rain. So was the National Weather Service, the Weather Prediction Center, showing a pretty big deluge. And when it came around to it, the moisture just did not make it up here. There were strong thunderstorms to the south. Robbed all that moisture. We didn't get much yesterday. So anyway, that's going to be interesting. All right, so quick summary for the week. Mild today, a little bit breezy. Tomorrow will still be mild. Rain in the afternoon and up into the evening. Possibly ending before midnight, the ball drop or whatever drop or celebration you have. Clearing later in the night and getting breezy on Wednesday. Highs cooler on Wednesday in the 40s. By Thursday, cooler and maybe only in the 30s, probably around 40. Friday in the 30s, so around 40. Then even colder, only around freezing at best for Saturday and Sunday. And, nighttime lows are going to get even colder, probably into the teens, possibly on Saturday to around 20 degrees. And then Monday, there is a low pressure system coming from the west. It's coming truly for us from the west, not from the south. So that means it's going to kick up some warmer air, running it over the top of that cold air in place, and that could be a messy mix on Monday, a week from now. We'll have to see how it comes about. You'll see on the models. Beyond that, I'm just going to say it's going to be cold. If we get moisture around, we could have snow, we could have a mix. It's hard to say. There's a big storm being forecast here on this model, which you'll see. That's been on and off. Somewhere between the 8th and the 12th, there could be a low. It's big. It may miss us to the south even, because when we're this cold, and blocks that far south, it has a hard time. But sometimes models overdo the further south commitment or intrusion of the cold, and so maybe it won't matter. But anyway, all right, let's go forward. We'll see what happens over the next few days. Sorry for that long explanation as an introduction, but it's just a cold pattern is in the future. All right, so today we see it, like I said, the warmth. We're still pretty warm. These are isotherms. These the red here, so it's pretty warm here. It's moving forward. Here's the moisture for tomorrow. That moisture seems to kick out, like I said, pretty quickly. Before it showed more rain, and this has been the pattern. Models are showing more precipitation than less later. And here's that breezy Wednesday. Don't say you could drop in super cold. I mean, the ice to the 540 is still to the west. So it's going to slowly come in, but it's just going to come in on wind. So when I say slow, I'll put it in quotes. Windy conditions as we head into Thursday. It stays breezy, really, right into Friday. Friday won't be as windy, but still cold. I mean, we're much colder. Look at these. We're now well below the blue lines here, and that's really cold air. Here's the cold, very strong high. Pushing that colder air into the region. It gets reinforced. And then so as we go into Saturday, you're going to see just the cold and the wind picking up here as this high comes in and butts up against this cold to the north. We get a lot of winds. It's going to be really windy and chilly. Cold weekend. Even on Sunday, the winds kind of relax a little bit, but not much. And here comes the low. I was mentioning this big area of low pressure with the moisture. And it seems like it can make it here, but you do see, even now, the moisture kind of gets a little bit dried up once it comes east of the mountains. So we do have this mix here. Probably starting to snow, mixing over. This is sleet. Not true freezing rain, but that is some strong winds. This high to the north, not super strong anymore. They could bring in the cold air damming is why you're going to see ice east of the mountains. So I don't think there's going to be much of a rainstorm. If anything, it will be just a sleet, freezing rain on top of an initial thump of snow is what we call it. We have a follow-up low. Like I said, these getting this far out, I'm already starting to say, hey, don't count on details, specifics, locations for lows. But another low along the front, the Arctic boundary here, could bring some more snow up into the region, maybe even for us. We'll have to see. It won't be a lot, but it was something on top of maybe the other ice that we had earlier in the week. Then we're going to watch for this next storm system. And it's been advertised on and off. And I mean, now we're way far out there, guys, around the 8th through the 12th, somewhere in this time frame. There could be a low along the East Coast. There's a lot of model support for that type of scenario. But exactly where it forms, what it does, well, I'd say that's up in the air. Because here, it's just going to look a little crazy. So on the 9th, here's another little low that kind of goes out. And then here's the big one. This is called a true Miller A. It's a low pressure that forms way down in the Gulf and starts kicking up towards us. And it actually merges with this energy to the north. And that's why it just kicks off a monster. I mean, this has got snow from Florida to New England. But for us, I mean, that is a blizzard. I mean, that is seriously strong winds. Very, very cold behind it. I think this is just out to lunch. Not impossible, but I just got to tell you, this be crippling for most of the East Coast. I mean, it's got snow down into Myrtle Beach and the shoreline here of South Carolina, even down into Georgia, some snow. I mean, this is cold, cold, cold. This would be one of the biggest storms we've seen, so I don't think that's true. And then we'll have to see because there's even follow-up moisture maybe even later. But in general, look, reinforcing shots of cold air. We're not looking warm again in that long range on any of the models. So regardless of what happens and where fronts show up and where lows go, don't be surprised if the lows go farther south of us and end up snowing south of us instead of on top of us. The fact we have even a mixture next Monday just shows you that a low in the right locations can bring up warm air. We wouldn't think it, but it's possible. In general, though, we are, once we get to about Thursday, Friday, it is cold, straight cold for at least, it looks like 7 to 10 days straight, if not more. And then maybe even beyond. And of course, if we get moisture in here, we're going to have chances of, snow showers and things like that we're not really even seeing here on the details during that time frame. And then, of course, we have chances for storms. Don't fixate on any storm until we get to a closer range. There's been a long outlook. Let's see what we're looking for next Monday based on the latest model run, since this was an earlier model run. All right, so this is the latest run. I'm not going to go to the end of the run, even though that may be where some more interesting about. This is looking at the Monday time frame, and here's the low. A little bit different oriented here, and so because of that, and it's a little bit slower, the low goes a little further north. And what's interesting about this is that it quickly dry slots is what they call it, where it gets dry air wrapped into it after we get a quick bout of snow here. So this looks quick, so don't expect a lot of accumulation, but it does look like mainly snow, which would be nice. Again, this is so far off. Getting these details, minutiae, are really, really hard. But just to see what it looks like, how much snow we're talking about, it's not going to be much because that's a really quick thump of snow. And there you go. I mean, as been the trend by every model, every run, everything that we've seen this year, and why we continue to be in the drought, is as we get closer to an event, what looks like is very wet. And if I showed you yesterday's maps, you'd see a lot more precipitation has really changed to much less precip. Only a half an inch of snow, maybe an inch of snow here out of this because of the way the trajectory and how quick it dry slots. Here, let's just look at the previous run. Honestly, it's pretty consistent. I mean, around an inch of snow here on the previous run, too. So, not too much. Question is there much ice with this run? And the answer is no. So, even though it looks like we're going to have a mixy type of situation, and I would say even last night's model runs were crazy with the amount of precip, wow, they've backed off dramatically. This was the ice outlook, by the way. So, at this point, that was a long introduction to a quick forecast of the chance for definitely colder air and maybe some snow mischief on Monday with snow. I'd say still freezing rain or in that mixture. But, where it actually goes with that low and how much moisture it has, that's still up to in the air. And it does seem to get dry. And boy, after yesterday's bust, I got to say, these systems that get closer to us tend to dry up some. So unless they can tap Gulf moisture in a real way and Atlantic moisture in a real way, we're not going to see a big system on us. That may change later in this time frame. We'll have to see. All right, I don't want to hold the forecast any longer. We'll be looking for updates, and I definitely will be giving more timely updates as we get closer to what could be an event in a week. All right, have a good one. Your Loudoun County Weather Outlook.